black or white?
They ain't round.
They ain't round?
And ain't no sphere.
The earth is flat? Why do you think the earth is flat?
I don't think I know.
You know it's flat? How you know?
There's nothing in this world and no way that you can put water on a sphere. It has to be contained. Water, no matter what water on this earth, it has a border to it where it's higher than the water level. Right or wrong. Every ocean, every sea, every lake, every pond, even puddles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When the streets is flooded. And there's only one way that this water is on this earth. It'll just be falling off the earth. It'll be falling off this ball. And we're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour with this water contained on this sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what if that's just how God created it? So it don't make sense to us because it's not logical to us, but that's just
It
how.
might be out of our understanding.
Yeah.
You might not be able to get it. We probably, our minds is not supposed to get it then.
So it may be.
But it's always a question of, you know what I mean? Because they said the earth was flat when they had no way to see, to even do the research. Then they said the earth was round and still didn't have the way to see.
How you know?
This is what they told us. Well, this is what they told us. But right now, every experiment that they do to prove that the earth is flat, it proved that it's flat. There's no way that they can prove the earth is round. There's no way. Structures would tell you that to build something from the bottom up, it has to be level.
Yeah. You know,
So-
I'm a carpenter, so
Yeah,
I know
for
that.
sure. So a skyscraper on one side of the earth, let's say United States, a skyscraper, California, United States. Let's say California.
California
And a skyscraper
in New York, in Asia.
in Asia. The top of them, if the earth was round, the top of them will have a different distance than the bottom of them. If you measure the bottom of that skyscraper to the bottom of that, because they will be on like this,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
It would have to be.
yeah.
That's not the science. It's even, top and bottom. They have a bridge in China that's 200 miles long. Chap, you know how long that is?
Yeah, but so
It wouldn't show no curvature.
there's no curvature.
None on the bridge. The
There's
bridge
no
is
dip
straight.
at all.
The bridge is straight. It's not like the Great Wall of China and all those
It's
down.
just straight.
It's a straight bridge.
I
200 miles.
gotta look into that. I never really was one to argue whether the world was.
Nah,
you know,
see,
Earth
and
was
it's not.
flat
It's
or
not
round.
a. It's not even a argument that I have. It's just. It's big, like important questions to me.
Yeah.
It's something I really and.
Why
and
is it so important to you?
Because there's no anything else we want to do research for in the world,
Mm-hmm.
we can do it.
Yeah.
In that case, we can't do it. They own, NASA owns everything and won't let nobody do nothing. NASA owns the insides of the pyramids. For what? Why?
No idea. I didn't
NASA
even know that. Is
NASA
that
owns-
true?
Yes,
They own the
NASA
inside
owns
of which pyramids? All the pyramids.
all the
in Egypt?
pyramids in Egypt, the Giza pyramids. The pyramids
NASA.
of Giza. NASA
owns
owns the insides. They own half of the Grand Canyon. Why?
Let me look that up real
Yeah,
quick,
Jack.
man. Is
Why?
that the truth?
Why, Chad?
Let me see real quick. You said NASA owns the insides of the pyramids.
Giza pyramid.
I mean, you know, I'm not calling you a liar, and really, you know,
No, I know.
think about
But
this
that's
stuff.
why. But that's it. There go another point right there. You see what I just said? I just said something. You could go and fact check. You can't fact check if the Earth is round or flat.
There is not an available search for this. An AI overview is not available for this search. Yeah, I don't know. There's really nothing on it right here. There's different opinions.
Just gonna have to look into
Some
it
people say
more.
yes. Some people
It's crazy.
saying no.
But why?
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
A space company, chat.
Yeah, no idea. There's a lot of stuff going on out here.
Yeah,
I-
that's
I don't
another
know.
thing I'm saying. Like, why not? Why would I just not want to question these things? Like, why wouldn't I want to question these things? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Because we
it's
don't
good to question everything
we don't know nothing from the last 100 years, 200 years. Let's say 200 years ago.
as far as what.
Nothing. All we know is what we've been told
Yeah, well, we
and written in books.
we got history,
But that's all we know from somebody putting it in there.
but so you don't believe in history?
Not saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying a lot of it could have been altered a lot, and a lot of it could be made up, and we don't have no way of
For
fact check.
what will be the gain for somebody to? Well, it would have to be more than
Control.
somebody. It'd have to
Control.
be a whole big, gigantic group of somebody's.
Control
Control of what?
the planet, power. They got power, ultimate power. They own everything, and they could put the view of what we see and what we do at whatever they want. They can control us.
So they just want to control our viewpoints. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the main way to get to everybody, though.
Controlling the viewpoints.
You get everybody's viewpoints,
Makes
everybody's,
sense.
you know what I mean? And it's
If you
It's-
control somebody's viewpoint, then yeah, you control them.
they control everything. They got control over uh, deflation, inflation. What's it called? When it's bad, like when you don't, the depression. They control money. They can print money at any given time they want.
Yeah.
It's like they control everything. The food quality.
Yeah.
They pumping gases and aluminum in the air.
But what's that have to do with controlling viewpoints, though?
That's controlling how we see everything. They control the world.
Yeah. But as far as viewpoints, don't you think that that's just the media right there? That's how you control a viewpoint.
True, true, true. But I'm saying, as the masses, if you have control, like if I put it in perspective this way, say like Jay-Z, when he was making his rounds with Rockefeller, Rock Lock Familia, wasn't nobody selling records around that time, right? It wasn't too many people, him, Eminem, Nelly. You know what I mean? They had the game on lock. He had everybody throwing up the Illuminati signs, like he had everybody's view, like it's the Rock. You know what I mean? The Rock Lock Familia, he throwing up the symbols and stuff. He didn't know, he probably didn't mean to do it like that, but it's somebody behind that that's pushing that.
Throw up the rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pushing that
I
part.
do think rappers are controlled. They
All
handpick
of
them. Yeah.
All of them. It's not like, because if the case was talent, everybody would be really rich, because there's a lot of garbage rappers, and I don't understand it, how they still.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
definitely.
But if they
There's
control
some sick rappers.
Trippy
too.
Red, for one, I can't stand him. I don't know none of his music.
I mean, I don't know who Trippy Red is.
I don't know none of
honestly.
his music. I don't even think he's talented. I just hear the music, and then people be like, "Oh, Trippy this, Trippy." I'm like, how is he rich like this?
Yeah.
You look at his net worth, he's up. Like how? His best friend owns the company. His best friend's dad owns the company that
Mhm.
he's a rapper for. You understand that he's an artist for it. So it was like he was gonna make it regardless. But it's almost satanic, like the stuff they rap about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know I'm not.
Yeah. We're gonna pause it right there, but we're gonna continue in that though. We ain't about
Yeah.
to pause. We just about to pause it right there. You
But
said it's satanic.
no, they're
The
music.
music that they're pushing is satanic,
Yeah,
like a satanic
I
agenda.
can't- and it's sad, man. I can't stand it.
So, do you think that all these rappers out here, new rappers coming in, they're all pushing the satanic agenda, and if you don't want to do that, then you're not going to be a rapper? Because honestly, that's what I think.
I don't think all satanic. I'm just talking about. I think pushing evil and pushing bad. Like
That's satanic.
no, I'm
ain't it?
talking about not evil. I'm just saying like pushing bad stuff. You know what I mean? Selling drugs, killing, calling women bitches and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I ain't.
Nah,
but-
you good. I
but-
mean, keep it down if you can,
I'm-
but
I
ain't
ain't-
nobody tripping.
You know what I mean? But I ain't. I don't think all of them are. I think the main goal is pushed by Satan. You understand? Like I think the whole in rap, especially rap, I think it's all pushed by the devil. Like honestly, like
You know Satan is like the head musician, or was
for
the head
sure.
musician in control of music. He still loves music today. He's still
Right.
all up in the music today.
But then on another sense, it's other rappers that's not the agenda. They
Like who?
trying to wake you up.
Because that's who I
B.O.B.
don't know. Who's B.O.B.? Oh, B.O.B. I think I heard of him.
He from Atlanta. B.O.B. He fired. Sci-Hi the Prince. Biz.
I know who B.O.B. Yeah, Bizzle, definitely.
Hold on,
but
hold on.
B.O.B. and Sci-Hi the Prince,
Mhm.
I used to listen to them, actually. They not pushing God's agenda. There's no way.
What you mean?
There's no way. The will of God is holiness.
No. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I'm saying, but they're not pushing evil. They're not talking about bad. You know what I mean? They're not. They. Sci-Hi got Black History Month CDs, where it's all raps about real Black history,
Uh-huh.
and it's hard. Like his album is like if you listen to it, it makes you think of a child growing up in the '80s.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
given a different view on music.
Right, but there's no
Music.
holiness attached to his music, though.
It is. He's not. Sci-Hi the Prince is definitely
He's
a
not.
holy dude. Yes, he is. He's bro. I'm telling you, he is, bro.
What do you think pushing holiness is?
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying unlike God over money. They're not like nothing like
Nothing like that.
that. Nothing like that. That's what I'm saying. They're,
Like you wouldn't even hear any artist from God Over Money speaking about the things that Sci-Hi, the Prince, or B.O.B.
now
will be
B.O.B.
speaking of.
You got to think B.O.B. stopped rapping. Not stopped rapping. He stopped rapping for the people a long time ago, and he did that so he can rap how he wants to rap. And he ain't rapping about nothing at all, but about the lies they've been telling, the crooked politicians and agendas they got going on. He's not. He's pointing out. He's a whistleblower now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been for a while now, chap. Like, and it's very hard to find them type of people.
But wouldn't you say that? See, so like let's compare a rapper like Bizzle to a rapper like Sci-Hi, the Prince, or B.O.B. One is striving towards holiness, is reading the Word of God and applying it to their life and how they rap. On the other side, they're striving more towards popularity and trying to wake people up as far as world history is concerned, maybe different cultures and whatnot, but it's all worldly. It's just focused on human beings. Like they don't include God. God is like for Bizzle, God is everything. For B.O.B., God is added to my life how I see God. You see what I'm saying?
And so I talk about God a lot though.
Yeah, but the way he sees God, the way he wants to,
And
essentially.
he got songs like whole songs, like
Oh, I done heard some songs.
316.
Yeah.
My 316. He's rapping about the verse, John.
316.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bro, I don't know. It's a lot, bro.
It's like it's one
got a
thing
lot
to
of
it's
music.
one thing to live for Christ and to push that in your music, and it's another thing to try and add Christ to your life.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the difference in pushing Christ through your music and adding Christ to your music. Because
Yeah.
it's a different aim, you know what I mean? It's a different aim. If Bizzle's not rapping at all, if it's not God involved.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
'cause-
about
'cause
God.
he's-
I'm not.
He's using
He's
his
pushing
his like talents to serve the kingdom.
right.
That's the difference right there. Sci-Hi, he's not using his talents to serve the kingdom. It's self-serving. He's not giving all glory to God in everything that he does. You see the difference? You see what I'm talking about?
True.
But first, before we even start talking about God and situations like that, getting all into the religion,
Right,
I don't
right,
even
right.
know what your religious background is, or do you have one? Like, what are you?
Yeah, I am Muslim.
You Muslim.
Yes.
So you follow what's y'all's prophet's name?
Who?
In Islam.
Elijah Muhammad.
So not Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad,
Yeah.
the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
So that's different than
Yeah.
just being a Muslim.
No, let me put it this way. I was raised in a Muslim home.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to prison, I had a lot of time on my hands to sit and fight with myself, basically. Fight these demons that's in me.
Mm-hmm.
Fight everything out of me to find out where my peace lies, where my life, where my aim, what am I here for? You know what I mean? And when I came home, I didn't pick up on nothing in prison. Like, no, I didn't go in there and start reading scriptures or nothing like that. But as I came home and the people I was hanging around, you know what I mean? And because I'm like I said, I'm so far gone from the street, like life, like it's crazy. So when I came home, the people I'm around was more trying to sit me down and let me see where my faith lies. Yeah, and I'm also, like I said, I was raised in a Muslim home. My dad was Muslim. So me
So
seeing
What
my
kind of
stepdad.
what kind of Nation of Islam?
Yeah, my dad. And him, it took him 28, 30, almost 30 years to find where his faith belongs. You know what I mean?
Where his
Where
faith
his faith
belongs.
lies. Where his faith lies.
So do you follow the Quran?
Now, that's a touchy situation because to me, it's a lot of controversy because I don't know what's been done to the Quran. You know what I mean? And I don't know what's been done or told to the people I was around from where I've learned, from the stuff I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still, to this day, question a lot, bro. I really question a lot because everything.
What kind of questions do you have about the Quran?
It's not even the questions
Because you
about
don't.
the Quran.
So you saying you don't believe it?
Not in totality. Not in totality. I don't believe. It's not too many things I could believe in totality, and that's me. And that's the thing I'm bothered with, Chad. It bothers
Yeah.
me.
So look, unless you have a reason not to believe something, why would you not believe
Right.
it?
Because I believe there's a lot of lies and truth that's been twisted around and we don't hear the stories about this stuff.
Yeah,
until
but that
later-
would mean that's just what's in your head. Until you work it out, you just to say there's a lot of lies and a lot of truth. So when you see, I can tell you exactly why. You know, I don't believe in the Quran, but I can tell you exactly why I don't believe in the Quran. Only way I could do that is if I looked into the Quran, if I read the Quran.
Right. I'm not saying it's. That's not what I follow my life by. Because I still, like I said, I fight with this on a day-to-day, chap. Like I don't understand a lot, and I question everything. So some people will get upset because I question things about their beliefs. You know what I mean? They'll say something, and I'm not questioning to be like drilling nobody or nothing like that. Like I know everything because I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have to have more proof. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling you you're wrong or none of that. I'm not. How can I tell you you're wrong? I don't understand that.
You can tell somebody they're wrong if you know the truth, and they say something opposite of that. If I tell you you're not sitting in a blue couch, in a blue chair right now.
Understood, and I can see that.
Yeah.
Physically, I can see that, and it's a lot I can't. And it bothers me, Chad, because I don't want to question God. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. It's not right to.
So what if all the proofs was here? Let me answer that question. Let me answer that statement. Actually, you said it's not right to question God. Why do you think God gave you the intellect that you have? If he doesn't want you to question what's going on around you.
That's what I fight with, chap. That's why I said the same thing about the earth being round or flat. I fight with these things because I'm questioning something that's out of my understanding. I would never. I don't think nobody actually can answer some of the questions. It's not I can't get an answer. It's I don't know if it's going to sit. I'm going to believe that.
Yeah. All right. So you say you question everything, and that's just something that everybody should do. Never just take a truth without like diving into research behind, like where'd they get it from? You got to dive into that. So you got to do your own research, but you don't do research unless you have questions.
True.
So, I think that's just a good place to be. It's a good start. You got questions. Now what about the Bible? So if you don't believe, if you say, you're Muslim, but you don't follow the Quran because you don't really believe everything in the Quran, you question a lot of things, you will obviously share the same view on the Bible. You question a lot of things in the Bible. So if we was talking about the Quran, I could definitely see why you question a lot of things. But then, because there's a lot of things that have no answer. Like the answer is really like crazy and actually
and weird,
illogical.
And
don't make sense. Yeah, but when it comes to the Bible, I've had so many questions. Like I remember I used to argue with my mom about cussing when I was younger. 16, 17, like ain't nothing wrong with cussing. The way I'm saying the word is not offensive to anybody. I'm not cussing at nobody or, cursing anybody out. You know how you could be like, look at this. I'm talking about a table or something.
right?
But after asking that question and really, letting the Spirit guide me on that, it became real simple. Jesus wouldn't be cussing. The same words you use to curse a man, you can't use those words for good. You see what I'm saying?
There's no way.
And then the Bible says, how how can blessings and cursings come from the same source? Like it shouldn't be like that. God is holy, so everything that comes from him is holy. That would be me being holy and unholy, or at least thinking that I can do that. But you know, when you drop that little bit of dirt in the ocean, the whole ocean is corrupt. The whole
Right.
ocean is dirty now. You know what I mean? Like the whole body of water.
One little thing of dirt.
Yeah, one little thing of dirt and all of that water, and the water's dirty. You know what I mean? Like there's no way around it because 100% of it was clean until you drop that. Now I'm just saying ocean, just using that representing a big body of water. But yeah, you could have a big body of clean water and drop a little bit of whatever in there that's not clean, and then that contaminates everything. So it makes sense. You can't be saying good and bad using the same word.
It's not gonna.
Yeah, so I'm like cursing.
Contradicting
Yeah, okay. But that was a question that I had. But then there's a lot of them. So I just want you to put a question out there. It's reasons why you question the Bible. Let me hear one.
It's just some of the things that's in the Bible I wanna question. How old? And I've always had the same question. How old was Noah?
All because Noah, I think he
No,
died.
that's not all because Noah. No. These are just questions I got. Like, how old was he?
Are you saying
When?
because he lived way past how old we live nowadays?
Right now.
I think he lived to like 900
Yeah,
something.
past 900. He was 800 and something when he did what he with the ark, when he built the ark.
Yeah, but he died at 900 something. He didn't reach 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So
and it's
and
not.
he was younger than Methuselah was the oldest, and he didn't reach 1,000.
See, and listen,
Yeah,
I got a source here that can answer these questions.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, I would ask these questions, and it would be like I would be looked at like I'm dumb because that person that I'm asking doesn't have the answer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but it's a good question
okay,
though.
and the 800, and I don't know if it's a translation in there somewhere where years or something was different compared to now.
Okay, so that's another question. Well, just to finish off the first one, I'm gonna let you know that I understand why you wouldn't believe somebody lived to 900 something years old, because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen nowadays. That was a long time ago,
Right.
and obviously, just the average mind, anybody's mind, should question that. Like, what the heck? There's nobody that's gonna read that and have a sound mind and not question that. You got to, like, wait a minute, I don't even live till 90.
Right, and then I was watching something with the Sumerians. It was in the Sumerian scroll text that they had. It was on a emerald something.
What, the Emerald Tablets?
Was it?
Are you talking about the Emerald Tablets?
Was it? I don't know if it's the Emerald Tablets or not, but it was talking about they had a great flood too.
Yeah. See, there's a
And
lot
it
of.
was it was.
All right, so put it in question for or other.
Yeah, I was just watching something about the Emerald Tablets.
The Epic of Gilgamesh. I mean, I'm sure you was, but all these different things or different stories, they got their
From
own
different
flood
people
accounts.
and
Yeah,
from different.
they got their own flood accounts. So now, just hear me out. So in these stories, there's absolutely nothing to back them. There's no proof surrounding these stories. The only way you could even hear of these things is if you read the writing itself. So if I write something, I could write something today, and I could put my own flood account in there, and people will be like, well, look, the writings of Outkast, he wrote this, and You know, how we know that he not telling the truth? I'm talking about years down the line.
Right. It could
Yeah,
be
they could be like,
100 years.
yeah, how you know that he not telling the
Deposit
truth?
box buried in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But see,
Like-
the thing is, this is how we know. We know because there's nothing pointing to the fact that this thing is true. Like for example, we got the Bible and Moses' flood account.
Right.
So you would question, why do you believe his account but don't believe this account? And it's easy to answer that. The reason why I believe it is because Jesus said that it was true. Jesus believed in the whole Old Testament. If he didn't discredit the account that Moses wrote in Genesis, then I can't. And let me tell you why I can't. Because I'm going to believe everything Jesus said because he rose from the dead. He didn't just rise from the dead, but he said he was going to rise from the dead. And then did it exactly how he said he was going to do it. But not only that, the prophets, you know, the prophets that Muslims believe in too, all the prophets pointed towards him as a Messiah. And he comes and says, yes, all the prophets was talking about me. And I'm going to prove this because I'm going to fulfill every prophecy that the prophets spoke of me. And not only that, but all the prophets didn't know each other. So some people can be like, well, they all got together and they told each other, look, this is what we're going to write. But they didn't know each other. It's not even that they couldn't know each other because they was living over a very big time span. Like the gap is crazy. And this is when people wasn't living to
800 and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. So there's no way that they all knew each other and they all saying the same thing.
Right.
Now we have all of these books. Still, we got all these books, and then when you put them together and you see that they're all talking about the same Messiah, worshiping the God of the Israelites, you know, Yahweh.
Right.
And then Jesus comes. Like Isaiah, you believe in Isaiah as a prophet?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what he says about Jesus. He says, or about the Messiah, even though the Messiah is Jesus, but at the time it was about the Messiah. A child will be born unto us, and his name will be Mighty God. Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. So he was pretty much saying that the mighty God was going to be born, and it was going to be God being born, and he was going to be walking with us. This is 700 years before Christ was even, before he even came down to earth, through the virgin birth. 700 years
Before.
is a long time, bro. And for him to say this and then it happens. But after he said that, there was a lot of other prophets that came and was pointing towards the Messiah too. And then it happened. And then when he rises from the grave and then all these people see him, the disciples, the apostles, they all seen him dead, but then seen him living again. And he showed himself to hundreds of people to the point where it's not just in the Bible. There's so many sources outside of the Bible that say Christ was a real person. There's so many sources, and not even from believers, but from atheists, just scholars in different parts of the world. They can attest to the fact that, yeah, Jesus, he definitely lived here. He definitely was crucified under Pontius Pilate. And then there was people that claimed to see him. Now they put claimed because they don't believe it. But why would these disciples and apostles do what they did if Jesus didn't rise from the dead? Like, just to say, if you said you was going to rise from the dead and I'm following you, but you don't rise from the dead, I think I'm probably going to stop following you right when you dead, because now it's illegal. It's illegal for me to even preach what you talking about or even mention your name. And they
don't rise.
I'm going back. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going back to what I was doing. They all left their jobs to follow him, and they could have just went back to doing what they was doing and just lived their life.
Right.
But instead of doing that, all of them went and did exactly what Jesus told them to do. Why would she look? Let me take Paul for an example. Paul, if Paul was a man of, like, he wasn't a man of poverty. He was working for the Roman Empire. He had a nice status. He probably was living a good life. He was in a position of power to some sort. But when he realized that who he was crucifying was alive, because he seen him on his road to Damascus, once he realized that, he changed everything. He was radical for God. Like, if you seen Jesus right here, and he was like, listen, Skills, this is me. I'm right here, right now. I was dead and I'm alive and I'm God. Follow me. If you just seen that, there's no way that wouldn't radically change your life forever. Immediately, right?
Right then and there.
Yeah, so that's the only reason that's logical. There's no other valid reason for somebody to live their life for somebody that's dead and not coming back. No, they obviously all believed, look, we saw Christ after he died. He's in heaven. Everything he said is true. I'm following him, even if it means my life. So they had to live their life on the run. For 300 years after Christ's death, you couldn't really preach the gospel, or you couldn't be Christian openly, because you will be crucified. They will hang you on a cross. They will kill you. And that's what happened to all of them. All they had to do was stop. Just stop doing this. Go home. And they wouldn't. What would make somebody do that? Now, a lot of people say, well, it was under his spell, and he was in the witchcraft, and Jesus, he was in a witchcraft, and they was under his spell or whatever. But no, I don't think so. I highly doubt that that's just the truth. That's like that's a cop-out.
Man.
So that's the reason why I believe that Moses' flood account is true, because Jesus said it's true and he rose from the dead. Everybody else, and then there's so much proof outside of the Bible. Like, think about the craziest Bible stories. Just think about Sodom and Gomorrah. You know about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Why they destroyed it?
God destroyed it. What did he destroy it with? Sulfur. Burning. Yeah, burnt it up. It actually rained sulfur. If you go to the exact place over there today, it has the highest level of sulfur or something like that in the water than anywhere on the continent or anywhere in the world. Like, why is that the highest level right there where that happened? Moses, what did he do? Through the power of God, he split the sea. How is somebody going to do that? That makes no sense. It's a fairy tale. Until thousands of years later, we see it's chariots down there in the Red Sea. It's chariots, and it's spears and swords, horse bones, certain things that generals will wear, or people in the army. Why is that all down there at the bottom of the sea when we go explore? It's kind of crazy, right? And all the archaeological finds prove, yeah, this Bible story is true. This Bible story is true. Every city in the Bible is a real city outside of just the Bible in history.
In real life.
All the people, all the leaders and different people that they talk about don't just exist in the Bible, they exist outside of the Bible. You see, so the Bible is a lot different than all these other books that, are just written and they say things. It really has backing for real. So when you question these other things, like let's say you was looking at some hieroglyphics, you can question why was they worshiping the sun god or whoever they was worshiping. Why was they worshiping
a dog?
dog heads and dog faces and stuff?
Owl.
Out of all these gods, they've never spoken in history. There's no finds of these gods ever speaking to people in history everywhere. But Yahweh, that's different. You see the difference between all of these stories, and this is what Jesus said. He said that there is going to be false prophets, false religions all over the place. To beware of false religion. He didn't bring another religion. He bought himself, who is God, and he wants you to have a relationship with him. So the Holy Bible is not a religion that just came, or the Word of God is not just another religion that just came. Christianity is not a religion that came. It's actually just facts about God showing us what it is, where we was wrong, and who we need to serve, which is him. That's what the Bible is about. Trying to turn us away from ourselves and to turn to God. He's showing himself.
I'm Muslim and all. I still want to make it to the same heaven you do.
Well, the heaven that I want to make it to is the heaven with Jesus Christ being Lord.
I want to make it to the same Jesus too, and even that don't mean I'm not.
Well, it will have to, because Muslims don't think Jesus is God.
No, but I'm still. How wouldn't they?
They worship Allah.
Which
They actually
means
worship
God.
Allah and Muhammad. Yeah, I mean, in the language, it means the God, I think.
Yeah.
Allah.
And it's really.
But it's a
Man.
different God.
It's really arm, leg, arm, head.
But it's a different God. It's a different God, and it's plain to see. See, this is what Islam teaches. Islam teaches that we got the Quran, right, and everything, and we only know about Allah from the Quran.
Right.
And you know who wrote the Quran, or who was in charge of the Quran being written.
Who?
You don't know? The Prophet and
Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad.
nah, not Elijah Muhammad, but
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't even say his name again?
Who? Elijah Muhammad.
Nah. Say his name again?
Muhammad.
Yeah.
Why you say that?
Say it again.
Muhammad.
Man, say it again.
Muhammad. What are you talking about?
See, look right there. It lets me know that you're not Muslim. Even though you grew up in a Muslim household, I don't know how it was, but you're not Muslim. Because look, say it one more time.
Muhammad.
Yeah, you're not Muslim.
What?
And that's good. I'm glad that you can say that just like that. I'm glad, because that means you're not far gone. You're not, because it's hard to get out of Islam.
I told you that.
It's hard to
But
get out of
I
Islam.
told you this.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get out of anything that I don't have a solid faith in.
Yeah. Look, the only reason why I'm saying
But
that
I'm
is
saying-
because you didn't say peace be upon him,
No.
like
I'm saying
all Muslims do.
I'm doing what according to what you're talking right now. You know what I mean? I'm not about to do that. That's almost like when we out in the field working or something like that.
Uh-huh.
My Muslim brothers be out there working. I'm not about to push assalamu alaikum. You know what I mean? I'm not going to salam him in front of these customers like that. I don't want to give them the wrong idea. This is
That's
a time,
good.
and it's a
That's
time and
good.
a place. It's
That-
always a time.
Look, that means
and
you're
a
not
place for that.
Muslim. That's
No.
good. You're not too deep in it, because look, Muslims, like that's all the way deep in it, they never say his name without saying peace be
No.
upon him. Never. Never.
No, I'm saying I would have said that if I would have been like Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, but I wouldn't have said it like
if you was just asking me like that, because you asked me.
That's what
over
I'm
and
saying.
over again.
Muslims, no matter what, they're gonna say it,
Right, I
and no
wouldn't-
matter what setting.
I wouldn't have did it just now because we're
But
actually
look, so
conversating me. and
so
you.
let me get back to it though. We know Allah from the Quran. Muhammad wrote the Quran, or his companions with him, or
Right.
whatever. But now, where does the Quran come from? Just his brain. That's it. He went into a cave, and he came out with some of the Quran. And over the next 20-something years, he finished writing it. / his companions finished writing it. And there's no way to verify any truth in it.
Like what he was told.
Absolutely
or what he had
no
read,
way.
Get it from.
It's just him, one person, one mind. It's like to say if I wrote a book,
Right.
and
I'm
that
saying
and that's it.
And
It's all in his
no
head.
recollection, and nobody could say.
Nobody could say he was right about it because there's no way to verify whether he was telling the truth or not. So he tried to link it to the Old Testament, or not even the Old Testament and the New Testament. He tried to link it to Christianity, but at the same time say he was the last messenger of it, and he went all the way against everything that it was saying. He said he was the last prophet. But then in his writing, he, unlike the other prophets that came after prophets before them,
Right.
he contradicted everything that those prophets were saying. So the prophets in the Old Testament,
By saying he was the last.
no, just by writing the Quran.
Oh.
What the Quran says about who God is, and and who the Messiah is, and things of that nature, he contradicts all of it. Everything. He even contradicts the moral law that God gave us. So every single prophet from Moses on, none of them contradicted each other, not one time. That's a lot of prophets, major and minor prophets. That's a lot. But when it came to Muhammad, he contradicts all of them. All of them. But he said that he's the last messenger of the same faith, of the same God. And there's no way. There's no way at all. So, like, literally, if you really read the Quran, you will see. And you put it next to the Bible, and you read the Bible, you'll see, yeah, this is, and the morality that the prophets show you. And then you get to Muhammad, you could tell that it's just not of God. It goes against the moral standard, the moral law that God put in us. There's certain things that I could show you, and you'd be like, nah, God ain't telling you to do that. Like, I'm gonna just say one thing. He took his son's wife, and it was okay for him. That's not of God.
Not at all.
He slept with a 9-year-old. That's not of God.
Not at all.
The Quran says you're allowed to put your hands on your wife.
Yeah, and I never.
That's not of God.
Never.
You see what I'm saying? But this is what the Quran is, though.
Right.
And it's not just that.
That's what I said. It's a lot of
It's a lot.
what one person says.
One
came
person.
Up with.
Yeah, just one person.
Yeah.
No way to verify what he's saying is true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Matter of fact, the way that the Quran says to verify if it's true is to go ask the people of the scripture. Pretty much there's a verse in the Quran that says,
Go ask the
yeah,
who? The dead people?
no, the people of the scriptures. So that's the Bible,
Right.
Old Testament, New Testament,
Oh.
Injil, and the Torah. So pretty much it says, I think the verse goes like this: Muhammad, if you are in doubt about what Allah has revealed to you, which is the Quran, supposedly, to go ask the people of the book, of the Bible, that they've been reading the scriptures from the beginning. So if you doubt anything here, go ask them. Pretty much is saying, if you doubt what this is saying, go test it by,
Fact checking.
Yeah, with the scriptures that they have. This is what it says. But when you do that, that's a test that'll allow you to doubt it more. Like this don't even match what they have. But instead of people saying he's a false prophet, like everybody else that come and write their own books, they say the Bible was corrupted. They say the Bible was corrupt, the scriptures are corrupt, there's some truth in there, but whatever doesn't match the Quran is false. Whatever does match the Quran is true. But there's no way to verify it. This is facts. What I just said, there's no opinions. You can fact check me. It's in Islam itself.
9-year-olds.
Yeah, and just, it's just a whole, it's like it's just a book at the end of the day. It's just a book that somebody wrote and claimed a lot of things as true. And people believed it.
Book.
But you know what? It definitely, it's all fleshly. It's all fleshly. It don't make you see the moral laws that God put in you and make you bend the knee to those moral laws. There's a lot in it that go against morality. And that's something that nobody can deny because we share the same moral laws. If I said, my grandfather wants to marry your daughter when she turns 6, you would, bro, you might put your hands on me. Whether you Muslim or not, you might want to try and do something to me. You know what I mean? Like, you're not about to take that.
Like, what did you just say?
Yeah, but I understand. You was born into it. You ain't never really dove deep
Right.
into studying it.
Right. And that's what I was saying. That's why I still battle with all this on a daily, like, because I'm not fully educated on what I need to be educated
It
on.
makes
I
sense.
still got to do more.
And then when you do ask questions, you don't even know if the answers is true or not. Yeah,
How I'm going to know? What am I going to do?
right.
That's false. Like, what?
Yeah,
Shut up. You sound crazy. Like, and
yeah. I mean,
don't wanna sound
that's
like
real.
that.
That's
I don't
real.
want to sound like that, but that's why I'm glad I got brothers like you around.
Yeah,
Because I could definitely ask questions and not feel stupid.
yeah,
Or not sit there and be like, or go back and forth with you. I'm being educated. I'm learning.
hmm
It's not like it's a debate. It's not a debate. I'm learning. You know what I mean? Because I'm not fully aware of everything. I can't say I am. Or I'm not even 60% aware of anything. You know what I mean? I was, like you said, born into this.
yeah.
And like you said, it's all fleshly.
These questions that you got, I want to be able to answer them all because I know without any doubts in me that Jesus was God in the flesh and he came down here to show us who he was so we can have a relationship with him because eternity is real. The reason why we're even here right now is because eternity is real. There's no such thing as God beginning. Because then you'll be like, well, what made him? Where'd he come from? He has to be eternal. People always ask, where did we come from?
See, look, you just answered a question that I didn't even ask, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would have asked that.
Like, where did God come from?
I swear on everything. I just asked that the other night, me and my wife.
Yeah.
Sitting there and I acted like that. So I'm sitting there weirded out about it because I'm really like, and there's no way a man can be here without a woman. We have to be born through a woman.
Yeah.
That's all I know, because in our lifetime, not even just our lifetime, our past generations, all
Just
that.
for forever, as long as we
As
can
long
go
as we
back.
know, that's we can only come from a woman. You know what I mean? And then how we don't.
How did the first man and woman get here?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's
The Adam and Eve story is
no.
true.
I don't know if that's too far. Me wanting to know stuff. If I'm asking too much. You understand what I'm saying? That might
Yeah.
be too much to be even
I
asking.
mean, look, why do you even have the intellect to be able to think about that?
That's what I fight with, Chad.
Yeah.
That right there, like,
It's a valid question.
and it's deep though. It's deep. I would understand if some people couldn't answer it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But how many people will? Like,
And
you just
there's questions like this that those other books,
don't even have.
yeah, they don't.
There's
Well,
no way.
well, they don't answer a lot of things. Now the Quran gives an answer, but they steal it from the Bible. They say Adam and Eve.
Right.
But like Emerald Tablets and Epic of Gilgamesh writings like that, they don't answer a lot of these questions. It
They
just
can't.
doesn't. Yeah.
They can't because I don't think at that around the time they were made, there was nobody to question that
Well, you know that they was.
around. Well, people that was around.
It was just people writing stuff.
A lot of them.
Even the Emerald Tablets was actually written way after the date in there that it says it was originated. But it's the earliest copy that we have, and they're saying it's thousands of years old. But how can we even test that? It's just a claim, but there's no way to prove the claim at all. There's no way to prove it. The Bible don't do that. And that's what people don't understand. So I had somebody in here last week, and they said they want to look into everything. They want to look into what the Mayans used to do, and you know, in Egypt, how they was worshiping their gods, and he said like that was just their path. But people have been worshiping false gods as long as people have been here. People will make up anything in their head and put it on something. That doesn't mean that it was true. It just means that yeah, it's a fact that they was doing that thing. But any evidence outside of yeah, that's what he did or that's what they did, any evidence outside of that, there is none. How do you know that the evidence? I mean, how do you know that what they was doing was true? How do you know that their God even existed outside of their head?
Because
There's no way to tell.
Election, nothing. We can't fact check or nothing.
But I like that question that you asked your wife. Where did we come from if everybody's born of a woman, and then Adam and Eve? You understand that that's what everybody thinks because of the Bible, but then they don't really want to take it for real because they don't understand how they can trust the Bible because it's so old and they don't know if it's trustworthy and things like that. But if you believe the Bible, you would believe that Adam and Eve was the first humans and God created them. But then anybody could say, well, where did God come from if he created Adam and Eve?
Right.
So that's the question that people don't even understand what they're saying. So when you say where did God come from, God created everywhere. You see what I'm saying? God created space. That's the where. God created time. That's the how long ago it was. So it'll be however long ago. It's a place where God came from. That's what the question implies. Where did God come from? But God created time and space. So there's not a point in time where God came from somewhere because he created everywhere and he gave us time. If God came from somewhere, that means he's not infinite. He's not eternal. If he came from somewhere, that means he would have to wherever he came from would have had to have been created by something else. You get what I'm saying? So the only thing that actually makes sense is that there's an eternal God that didn't come from anywhere, always existed. If if that's not true, what I just said, that God is eternal and He always existed, if that's not true, then you would have but where did He come from dilemma. But where did He come from? But where did He come from? God, but where did He come from? And you could keep saying that,
Right.
and it will be never ending. So God has to be eternal, or then we will, that would be the dilemma.
Right.
God created all matter,
Everything.
everything, right? Because He's eternal, because He's all powerful.
Yeah, see, that's like I said, it's those type of questions I'm not supposed to, I don't think.
I think you just wrapped your mind around it, though.
Yeah, I do, but I did, definitely, but I don't, sometimes I think those questions are not even supposed to be asked like that. I don't think it was to me, after hearing that, I think it's a dumb question.
Think it's a dumb question?
Yeah, now that, the way you put it, because
I see what you're saying.
because I
Yeah.
should have thought like that in the first place. How didn't I? I'm saying is,
I know why you're saying that, but it's not. It wasn't dumb,
Nah,
because
but
that would mean everybody asked that dumb question.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why
right.
I said. That's why I don't be one to ask certain questions, because I don't want to
Sound
like the
dumb?
other, or like the other dumb dude that asked that same dumb question.
Yeah.
Because I'm really curious. I really want to know. Like, I'm not doing this to be like.
That's how
to
God
sit
created
there.
you.
I'm not doing this to be like Neil deGrasse Tyson and them, and be sitting here to
Yeah,
debate with you.
I know
Nah,
what
I'm
you
not.
mean.
I'm asking, and I'm sitting here
Hey, look,
learning. You teaching me.
What you're
something.
saying right now is powerful, bro, because unlike those other books, the Bible answers that. You got these questions in you that you feel like you want to know the answer, but then it sounds stupid when you ask. You ain't trying to sound stupid. Where is this coming from? That's good, bro. The Bible actually, in the Old Testament, God is dealing with people, and He says, "Let us reason together." Let us reason. So you think, I shouldn't question God, but God is saying no. Question so I can give you the answer, because look, those who seek truth find it. How do you seek truth? Without asking these questions. This is what God wants us to do.
Yeah, it's a lot
But
of
I only
you're
know
right.
that because I study the Word.
Right.
That, and because I really believe that the Word is alive. The Word is God. Like He left some of Himself here with us.
Oh, it's gonna always be here. It ain't going nowhere. It's in each one of us though. Like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot of questions. It'd be a lot of stuff, and it's not even all about religion.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like the Bible didn't speak, or did they?
Hmm?
I said the Bible didn't speak, or did they, about extraterrestrials and stuff like that. The stuff that's going on, and is that the blasphemous end of the ordeal? Is that so? What is this?
Well, extraterrestrials.
Anything that's outside of what we really see on a day to day, like something
Mhm.
coming in our atmosphere or
Yeah.
something being here in our atmosphere to being out of our atmosphere in seconds. You know what I mean? Something like how
And we're seeing
when-
these different things that look real weird, and we don't
Like-
know what it is, and
like
we don't
and-
know if it's artificial intelligence, the government doing things,
right,
or if it's
but
UFOs from outer space.
But what we do know
Yeah.
is no people inside there. There's no human beings inside there. There can't be.
Yeah,
They'll be turned to jello inside there. They just show people at 9 G's, 10 G's, bro. They face, they be looking crazy, bro. Everything be sucked in, bro. So,
Yeah.
and them, that's nothing compared to how fast these people going. Like,
right.
whatever them things is, they going light years and minutes. Like, they're out of our universe, almost like.
See, the Bible tells us, it allows us to understand that we're God's favorite creation, His greatest creation. He loved His creation when He created us. that doesn't mean that we're his only creation.
I know this for
Yeah.
sure. There's no way, because, like you were saying, the ancient hieroglyphics and stuff like that. The only reason they put some of that stuff up there, to me,
Hmm.
because that's what they seen.
And they attributed that what they didn't understand to
Did-
God.
And that's the only way they could. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
if there was no planes around, if we never seen a plane, a helicopter, or nothing like that, but then one day we just seen a dude in like a chair with wings on it, just flying in the air. We didn't have no way of writing this down and saying we seen a guy with a plane. You know what I mean? With a automobile in the air. You know what I mean? We only knew how to draw it.
Hmm.
How would I draw that? You know what I mean? And that's
You would just draw
boat,
what you
a
saw.
boat with wings
Yeah.
in the air. You see people on the ground,
Uh-huh.
but you see a boat in the air with people in it and wings on it. Like,
And they drew this stuff, and
and I'm like,
they understood it as that's got to be God.
that there's no way around it. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. There's no way around. We can't go back and look at the hieroglyphics and be like, oh, that was right.
Yeah.
Oh, or go to the Bible.
way.
We can't even go to the Bible
Hmm.
and find none of this stuff that's in the, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it leaves what were they seeing? Like, it was, there's still no way they could find out how the pyramids were built, chat.
Hmm.
Each one of them bricks way more than this whole house.
Yeah,
Chat.
they don't know.
And it came from over 500 miles away. The material that the pyramids is built out of
Hmm.
is not where it's in that Giza. It's nowhere near Giza. It's
Mhm.
over 500 miles away where they got that stuff from. How? There's no humans that did that, bro. No way, bro.
That'll just be
That's-
an unknown
No,
for
that's
forever.
outside of what we supposed to understand, because I think we're
It's a lot of things that we won't understand.
we'll never understand that, like the Stonehenge and stuff like that.
Hmm.
There's no how.
Yeah.
There's nothing nobody can tell me. Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Right.
I don't care about none of them dudes. There's nothing
See,
you can tell me.
And this is what I want you to see in all of this. A lot of people use this stuff that they don't understand as an argument against Jesus and the Word of God. Like, well, what about this and what about that? And the thing is, you ask that question to them. Yeah, what about it? You tell me. What about it? You know, like you so busy thinking about how the pyramids got there, and you want to claim that there had to be some gods doing it or whatever. But what about it? It's all claims. It's all unknowns, and there's no proof of anything that you could say about it that would make it seem like the Bible is false. Nothing dismantles the Word of God. You see what I'm saying? It's like people would think of all this stuff, right? All these things that's out there, but none of it goes against the Bible. Like, none of it dismantles the Bible. None of it disproves the Bible.
No, not at all.
And it doesn't even stand as a truth at all. There's no truth claims in it. It's just things that we're thinking about. Okay, this exists, that existed, they was doing that, but what about that? You can't say anything. What about that? The pyramid, there's no way we could have built those pyramids. Okay, so what about that?
Right.
So why don't you believe the Bible? Well, you look at the hieroglyphics and you see that they was worshiping other gods. Okay, so what about those gods? You don't know. You don't know what to
Right.
say. You don't know what to do with
So how
that.
are you dating this though? That's what you can ask them. How are you dating this though? Like,
Well, carbon
Who are they? Whoever they.
things are carbon dated. Like, there's ways that you do your research or whatever tests that they put everything under, and it's ways that they date certain things, and they use the same method for everything. So it could be off, it could not be, but this is the way that people, see the age of things. It's like carbon dated, something called that, or called something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Carbon dating things, so you can tell how old something is. It's just the way they measure stuff.
But it like,
I mean, if we say that, I don't know if their measurements are right. You don't know if their measurements are right, but then you wouldn't know how to measure anything at all.
we can't. They're not gonna let. I can't even say let. It's certain lengths that they're not gonna let you go to. Doing too much research, like how the government playing with that hydrogen collider thing.
I don't know what that is.
What? The God particle thing they made?
Yeah.
They playing with dark matter.
Oh, okay. I gotta look into that.
Chap, this
See
crazy,
what's
like,
going on.
and they got portals to open it up. They got almost like a whole city, because they gotta lock off the whole city because I guess it's dangerous. No duh.
I mean,
You're trying to
people
harness.
do a lot of stuff.
What?
They tried to build a tower to heaven.
Yeah,
Back in the day. People build a lot of stuff and make a lot of stuff,
It's-
create a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff on this earth that just shows that it's more. It was way more. It was a lot more than what we even think, like. And it doesn't discredit nothing in the Bible. not
Yeah,
at
but
all.
see, and
I'm
that's the
saying
thing.
a
That's
lot.
why I don't like focusing on that stuff, because there's the truth, and then there's everything taking people away from the truth. Things that you can't even explain. But then we got something as perfect as the Bible, to where it's 66 plus books, 40 plus authors,
Right.
all saying the same thing, all pointing towards each other. There's no way that anybody could make this stuff up. There's no way Jesus could have made these prophecies come true. He did things that only God can do, and everybody knows this, especially raising from the dead. All the signs are there, but we choose to believe the stuff that have no signs at all.
Right.
And that's all I really want to get at, for real, is that we got the truth, and everything pointing to the fact that, yeah, you can believe this. Yes, it's trustworthy. Even atheists will say, yeah, Jesus definitely did what the Bible said that he did. He lived where the Bible said he lived, and he was crucified for doing the things the Bible said that he did, and he rose from the grave. We don't believe it, but the people there obviously believed it. The disciples obviously believed it. The apostles obviously believed it. The early church fathers obviously believed it. And there's an apostolic succession from there all the way until now that has never been broken. Never. Has never been broken. All the way up until this day, you see all the different leaders of churches and church fathers in succession, all the way up until today. We've always had this word. Always. It's really no getting around that. There's nothing that even compares to it. Now, if you want to know who God is, and you really seek for the truth, that's going to be the end of the race right there. You're going to run that race seeking truth, and that's it. There's no way around it. I've done it because I was one of them. I'm not about to follow something that makes me want to go against the things that I want to do. I've always said when I was in high school, like, I'm a make mad money, and I'm going to have multiple wives. I'm going to probably sell a lot of drugs on the low just because it's easy, You know what I mean? It was a lot of fleshly things. I wanted to live fleshly. Like, there's no way I was going to be committed to one woman. Absolutely no way, because my flesh is all the way against that. But now, here I am doing everything that I was trying not to do. I used to tell myself, all I gotta do is find one thing contradictory in the Bible, just one thing. If I find one thing that make me feel like, yeah, this ain't, like, come on now, anybody could do this, or anybody could say that this is true, but what about this and what about that? But then you look at the what about this and what about that, and it's like, oh yeah, that ain't it. So let's go back to the Bible and read it to disprove it instead of reading it to understand it. And everything that you swear, oh look, what about this? And then, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, dang, like, that got an answer for it. That got an answer for it. What about, this was a big one, or this is a big one. What about the slavery in the Bible? Like, that's not of God, but then you looking at that and it's like, oh, snap. I was saying a bunch of stupid stuff. It's all there. Like, this is one huge thing. People be like, they use the Bible to enslave black people. You know, when, you know, European slave trade or whatever, they supposedly brought the blacks over here, and they was Christians, but then you realize it's a whole bunch of people that claim to be Christian and they're not even following what it says in the Bible. So yeah, it was Christians. They wasn't Christian though. They just claim to be. Anybody could say they're Christian. So this was a Christian nation, even though they wasn't living for Christ. The nation wasn't living for Christ. They just added Christian to it so they could seem holy. You see what I'm saying? But how did the Bible have any part in enslaving black people? A lot of people say, well, your ancestors, if you black, your ancestors is from Africa, and what are they doing over there? Witchcraft and stuff. Why do you think it's bad? Your ancestors was doing it. Well, how do you know? You act like the Bible only existed in America and it wasn't in Africa before it reached America.
Right.
My ancestors could have been Christian, could have been Christ followers.
Right. Why couldn't they be?
Yeah, right. People say a lot of crazy things just not to follow it. And it reminds me of where I was, saying a bunch of crazy things just not to follow it. You see what I'm saying? It's so, yeah, it's like I want to
sabotaging yourself. Like, I want to
Yeah.
make sure.
I want to do what I want to do, but there's something in me that's saying I got to disprove the Holy Bible first. Because if I can't, well then, God, you win. And I think that that's why, you know, God came to the people and said, to reason with me. You got all these questions, get them answered. That's why it says those who seek truth will find it. You draw closer to God, and then God draws nearer to you.